Hi everyone, so today we're going to stitch the final stitch for this pattern, and it's the basket weave. This one is a really fun one to do, it's one of my favourites. So the first thing you're going to do is get some stranded cotton. I'm just using 6 strands here, and you're just going to use a straight stitch to stitch all of these vertical lines down here. And again, just sort of stick to the pattern as closely as possible with this one, just to make your weave nice and even. So just a straight stitch like that, and you're going to do that for all of the vertical lines on this pattern. So I'm just doing my last vertical line here. And that's all of those ones stitched. So then you're just going to tie off at the back as normal. Now I'm going to weave in a different colour just because I just find it more fun, but you can use the same colour if you want to. So I'm going to swap colour now, and I'm going to use 6 strands again for this next part. Okay, so I've got my next colour of stranded cotton here. So if you look carefully at this pattern, you've got 3 horizontal lines going underneath where you've just done your vertical lines. So you're going to come up at the end, it doesn't matter which end you start at, you're going to come up at one of these lines here, and then you're just going to weave in and out of these vertical lines that you've done. So I'm going to start this side. So as I say, it doesn't matter which side you start, it's just totally up to you. You might have to kind of move the stitches aside slightly just to kind of see where you're coming up. So I've come up at the end of one of these horizontal lines here, and then all you're going to do is weave over and underneath these straight stitches that you've already done. So you're going to go over the top of the first one and underneath the second one. So I like to use the blunt end of my needle for this. You can use the other side if you want, I just find it easier to use the blunt end. So we're going to go underneath the second one. Like that, and you can either weave under and over a few before you pull through, or you can pull through each time, it's up to you. So you can see we've gone over the top of the first one and underneath the second one, and with the basket weave you might just have to use your needle to kind of move the stitches back into place slightly. So we're going to go over the top of the next one, underneath the next one. So I'm going to do a few weaves here. Again, you might need to push up from underneath. Use your finger to push up to avoid the stitches. So I've gone all the way to the end of that row now, and I can pull through. And then you can see it's gone over and under each of those stitches that I've done. Quite bright today, sorry if it's a bit bright. Then all you're going to do is go down, back through the fabric at the end of that row. And then just take your time to sort out the stitches slightly. So if your cotton is twisted slightly, you can untwist it. You can move some of the vertical lines sort of back into place. You can move it up or down a bit slightly if you need to get it completely straight. And then when you're happy, you can move on to do exactly the same for the next 2 rows. So I've come up at the end of the next horizontal line, and then because I've gone over the top for the first one, I'm going to go underneath for the second row. So you go underneath the first one, over the top of the second one, and then just keep going to the end of the row. And as I say, you can just do this one at a time and pull through, or you can weave in and out of all of them and then pull through at the end. I'm just going to stop there for this one. And if you make a mistake, just carefully sort of unweave and then carry on. And then again, once you get to the end of the row, just sort of pull it into place. Use your needle to sort of sort out the stitches as much as you need to, and you can do this at the end as well, which will make quite a big difference. And then just back down through the fabric at the end of that horizontal line. So there you go, that's how it's looking so far. Then you're just going to do the same thing for the last row there. And now I'm ready to do my last row. So again, just do the opposite of what you've done the previous time. So as we've gone underneath on this row above, we're going to go over the top for this next one. So over the top and underneath. Just keep going to the end of the row. Back down through the fabric where the lines kind of meet on the pattern. And there you go, that's the basket weave. So then just, as I say, take your time to sort out some of the stitches if you need to. You'd be surprised how much you can kind of adjust them, making the line sort of straighter and neater. And then just tie off at the back as usual. And that's the basket weave.